welcome back once again to day 5 of Masters Bangkok, and our final match of the Swiss stage. It will be between G2 and Team Liquid. I'm your host, Yingsu, and I'm joined once again by Mimi and Kukuka. Now, the people that predicted 4 firsts going through are going to be very sad because T1 managed to pull off that upset.
I'm people, and that was insane the way that T1 dismantled them the first game. The fake clone coming out at Masters 2. What a game for T1. I'm so excited to watch them in playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Them, again, with the double duelist, making their staple even in an international level on a global stage. I absolutely love it.
We do have to talk about this game here, though, because it will be EMEA versus Americas. We've seen this matchup a lot, and we do have the record here for you since franchising on which region has been coming out on top, and it is Americas, but not by like a massively long way.
5 games.
Yeah.
That's significant.
Close, it's close.
But it's not bad. I think that especially things evened out a little bit more last year.
I do see something in front of you still, something you were coping with before.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, but from the beginning of the game, the rivalry between Americas, what was an A, and EMEA has always been present, and I think that when we come into these international events and we ask regionally who they want to go up against, you know, some of the opposing teams, some names up.
I think it's also really interesting always because of some of the differences in styles. It always depends a little bit what it is, but here it's like G2 leaning into a lot of some of the very new stuff, while you have ATL who's like coming back out looking like they're playing 2021 Gambit again, and it's still working.
That's a good thing. That's ultimately a good thing.
It is a W for sure.
But the pressure is on for G2, of course. Not only are they the last Americas team here in Bangkok, they also want to be the first Ascension squad to win a global trophy as well. Ahead of Masters, Achilles had the time to sit down with Valen and Jonah P for a quick look back at their journey.
Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Achilles and I'm sitting by with the lovely Valen as well as Jonah P. Gentlemen, welcome to Bangkok. Just wanted to take a kind of dip into the past a little bit because at G2, you guys have had a tumultuous journey, let's say, starting from Ascension, making your way into the major leagues here. Second place finishes, so very close to winning titles in the past, but now you're coming into Bangkok as the #1 seed from America. So wanted to kind of like look back into the history books here of the team, of you guys as a core foundation for the squad. And we'll get ready to pull up the first clip here, but this is going to go all the way back to when you guys did ascend. And I want to go ahead and take a look here at round 5 from Haven, which, Valen, I think you've always been touted as like almost maybe the original like fragging IGL. How do you tackle rounds like this, and how do you manage to kind of like just stay in the game so much where you can perform at a high level?
I think I mean, it's kind of simple for me. I just take it, what's in front of me, I just take it and try to play. Like, I know I'm gonna be in a 1v3 situation or 1v2, depends on the round, but yeah, I just think like for me to be a consistent like fragger, as people like to know, it's just, you gotta play the game simply. You can't force things. Just let it come to you, and from there, like, you can be great. So
does that also apply then to how you, as an IGL, are able to utilize your players, like, you know, Jonah? And Jonah, if you could speak to that, like, how do you find the communications, like when Valen asks you to do something? Is it just that very simple, like, okay, I understand the, you know, what's in front of me, and I have to just tackle this way? Like,
yeah, I think what makes us a great team is when he says something, there's no doubt in our heads, even if it's like a bad call. Nobody will be like, no, I don't think we should do that, I think we should do this. It's just, if it's a bad call, it doesn't matter, we stick with it. And
coming, bro. Yeah. Look at that TP. Bang.
It's a solid.
Did you know I won it after the first kill?
Yeah.
Come on.
I think most of us do when we're watching, you know, whether it's either of you, frankly, alive at the end, because you're both so damn good when it comes down to just clutching out moments like this.
Jonah's crediting me. I want to give a lot of credit to like him and the rest of the guys, because my 2 initiator players, like Trent and Jonah, they calm a lot about how we want to set up rounds, how we want to adjust macro-wise, and even in the little details. So although a lot of teams think like, oh, the IGL probably says most of the round, like, my guys got me too. So we're just a collectively high IQ group about the game, and so it feels like if one guy is slipping a little bit, someone can pick it up.
We have one more, I believe, and this is going to be from your guys' most recent match versus Sentinels, as you qualified in the first seed to come to this tournament. I have not seen this clip. Production's been talking it up. They say it's a nutty one, so I'm really looking forward to this.
Oh, it's...
So I mean, I'm sure I've watched it in passing, but I did not prepare specifically for this interview. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this goes. You're at 11 and 8.
Mm-hmm.
This clip might be the reason we're sitting here right now.
No,
Okay.
actually, we were up 11-3 and we lost every single round, and they were gaining momentum. So like, if we lost this, who knows? But we never lose these. No.
All right. So stealth drone, no real contact quite just yet.
Yeah.
Vice
Knocks down, steel guard and out. Force up the sheriff. Okay. Oh, the fake out.
Big kill from Zek in there, honestly. And Bang blows up the round, but we're alive.
Yeah, I like looking at this as a commentator. I'm like, okay, the round is a wash. So I'm very curious as to how
Playing
this comes
this
back.
was the same feeling.
Yeah.
All right, so right here, I get flashed. I'm pretty sure I tell Valen I'm dead. I get a kill on narrate. He was slipping. And right here.
That kill was the winner.
That's, yeah.
So as soon as he Yoru ulted, I know to run to Jonah, even though I caught a lot of spam, because he's probably going to try to target him. So I just ran and then easy reposition.
On a 1 to 10 scale, how chaotic are the comms in a moment like this?
Honestly,
Not this specific moment here as the round gets ready to wrap up, but like when everything just kind of starts falling to pieces on that entry, how chaotic
yeah,
is it?
like especially when it's like 5v5 and we start getting picked slowly, there's a lot of comms going on. I'm like, because they're in unexpected positions. And then once it was just me and Jonah,
it was very calm.
It was ice cold. It was just like, yeah, I'm flashed. I'm probably dead. And then he gets a kill. Wait, one heaven dead. I'm like, wait, this is a winnable. And it's just silence in the 1v1. Yeah.
Well, clearly your guys' your cool, calm demeanors, your perseverance, it is all paid off. G2 right now, looking on top. I cannot wait to see how you guys are going to be performing at this tournament. I think it's going to be an absolute epic one for you guys. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'm looking forward to the future. So hopefully you guys have a very strong one for us. But that's going to do it for us. So thank you guys for watching.
It's been a great journey for this course so far, but that was before Mimi. They had Jogamo.
And Jogamo was the guy that people thought would bring G2 from a contender to a team that is going to be winning trophies this year. And thus far, he's been fine. He's been solid. He showed up in their games, had his moments, but he hasn't been the superstar that people expected. And I think when you look at a G2 that is in a elimination moment, that is in a very tough position, you have to harken back to this guy at his finest when he was winning trophies, taking over on the dive duelist. He's playing the Yoru now. It's harder to have that same impact, but I think in a match like this, you have to see the best from Jogamo, and he has to prove why he was that long-awaited player that people thought would bring G2 to the next level.
Yeah, and he's going up against a team that's already in this tournament. Kakuka proved that they are a contender.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that yesterday we saw amazing things coming in from the side of Team Liquid. Do not get me wrong, this Abyss was messy at best. So many advantages thrown by the other team. You could feel the tension, you could feel the nerves in so many of this plays. But everything went out the window when we got to that map number 3. Nats came alive and he completely obliterated Sentinels. Now, there is a parallel there between what happened against EDG and G2 and what we saw yesterday, and it's those long matches staying here until very, very late and probably losing a little bit of their own, like their force.
Yeah, it's almost exactly the same, right? For both America's teams. Lose a tight overtime and then get stomped on that final map. And last time it was all about Team Liquid doing so.
Yeah, and this Liquid, they haven't faced G2 just yet, but Patty Tech has. This is what he had to say to Mika Fabs earlier.
Hey guys, we are back in the tuk-tuk, this time with Patatek of Team Liquid. Now Patatek, you are quite familiar with G2. You went up against them thrice in Masters Shanghai and eventually you took the dub. So I'm wondering, what was the key to beating G2 that time and how is that going to translate to Team Liquid today?
Definitely losing 2 best-of-3s before winning a best-of-5. But I think what will happen is, like, if we're gonna be in control, we're gonna win the game. So let's see what's gonna happen.
Let's see indeed. Well, let's get going. Driver?
I don't know if I trust Jen to bring them here, but the one person that had full trust in Nats was his #1 fanboy, Choo-Choo. To put into perspective, Choo-Choo did not tweet when he won his game. He did not tweet, barely tweeted when he won Chance, but when his GOAT was performing against Sentinels, he tweeted.
I just want someone to love me the way Choo-Choo loves Nats.
Bro was so excited, he didn't take a screenshot. He took out his phone camera and snapped a pic of the VLR.
Can you blame him? Can you blame him? Because this performance.
This was maybe the greatest individual performance on a map in a long time. Nats was single-handedly backing up the years and looking like he was playing on Gambit again. No access to sight, indeed. He was just perfect on that bind.
Almost a 4 KD. That was unreal. I think that we all, when we were watching, we saw that one round where he gets the clutch, and he knew. He knew at that very moment that he was not leaving this stage without a win. So I'm just going to take this and hope for the best for G2.
But I mean, it's going to be more difficult to do it twice, more difficult to do it back-to-back, and more difficult to do it against the G2, which you guys have mentioned have looked very, very strong. It's time to close out the Swiss stage. This is it. Show some love and bring out, potentially for the last time, G2 and Team Liquid.
Team Liquid, Hoka, D2.
There is only one spot left for playoffs, and it comes down to a classic regional matchup. EMEA versus Americas in this showdown. It's G2 versus Team Liquid, and the loser will be going home today.
Back in EMEA, it was a lower bracket run for Team Liquid. They're comfortable here. They made it to the finals here. But for G2, seeing them on the verge of elimination is a shock for a team that had such high expectations.
And of course, we have to bring out the conversation around the map, Veto. What is going to happen? We saw G2 leaving that bind open, EDG peeking onto it, and them getting the defeat. The good thing about Team Liquid is, as you were saying, Mimi, a lower bracket run, especially the one from Liquid and EMEA, guaranteed them so many reps on so many maps, so many things that they tested, so many things that they changed as well. But for G2, those numbers are smaller.
Yeah, and also, do they want to play against G2 on Pulse? Surely it's going to be the exact same thing as yesterday. Yeah, there we go, where they float the Lotus.
But they lost yesterday to Sand on Lotus. G2 also very good on that map. So I think that one's tough for Team Liquid. But it's interesting to see the binds left open and TL not go into that one again. They looked lights out the last time they played that, and it was a big struggle for G2.
Yeah, I think they just want to go for comfort, like the split is out. I think that #2, it has to be that haven for them. I also love the Lotus. I think that is going to be a brilliant map to see from both of the teams.
I think all things considered, this is a really nice map pool for Team Liquid.
Yeah.
Them getting Abyss as the third map, that's the map they want to play every single time. So you feel pretty happy if you're them about this.
And especially thinking about how the Americas team have done in that third map. If we get there, I heavily favorite Liquid because that is probably their best map.
You say that, but I think it's really strong for G2 as well. It's the one map in this pool where we're going to get to see Leaf play on the Chamber. They have really good macro on their attack side. They proved that when they stomped Trace. So I think they have a real fighting chance on map 3 if we do get there.
Yeah, if we do get there. But let's talk about this first map pick here. How do you guys feel about them picking the Haven?
It's just comfort territory for Team Liquid. They looked really good on this in EMEA. Both teams play the Breach tail. The biggest difference is that G2 is locking the Vise, pulling out the Yoru, and they have a ton of great ideas cooked up to combine with Jojimo's Yoru.
And I want to see if the preparation is going to be on the side of Liquid here, because as I'm saying, even though they get all those reps, there is also all that day to watch for G2. We know that they're going to be heavy on prep, and they feel so comfortable with this composition.
No Yoru clone to deal with the Vise. I think the attack side, Nats has to be figuring out how to bait out this utility, call around it, and find the right site at the end of these rounds.
And I'm going to say this again, Kamek on that. Tejo is fantastic on Haven. We're ready to get this elimination match started. So let's send it over to your casters. Here's Panda.
I love the nickname. It's just making me smile. And so is this game. America's up against EU. I mean, you can't help but love it. But the momentum couldn't be more different between these two, right? You've got G2 coming off a devastating loss.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Heart-wrenching sort of thing. And then Liquid with probably the upset so far that's caught my eye, somehow besting Sen in a way I didn't think possible.
Yeah, the way that third map closed out was just simply ridiculous. Now they have a chance to eliminate another team from Americas, but this G2 squad was looking so fierce. If you'd asked who wins this series 5 days ago, everyone says G2 2-0. Now,
100%.
We're not so sure.
No, because again, look, I'll never beat the allegations about my EMEA love, but anyone in their right mind would have picked G2, right? Seeing what we'd seen, everything looking good, but there's something in the water. We had a Nats that was such a vintage performance, but that's all aside for now. Team Liquid going to be starting out on that attacking side, and of course on the other, G2 need to look locked in here today.
Yeah, G2 doing a lot of work to clear out any late wraps, any late lurks going in, but what it means for G2 is with 2 players on the flank, this retake is going to be fairly weak coming out of spawn, and Team Liquid are set up with 3 players eyeing this choke.
Look at the timing, maybe they get the pinch right, but it's actually Leaf to go down first. Allows them now time to worry about that flank. The trip's been broken, the eye should turn, and suddenly all this pressure feels a little bit segmented. It's not having the same impact! Oh, Nats might be back, baby! I'm so terrified. If he has another performance like he did against Sen, G2 might be done.
I'm watching that round thinking just not again, not again. That was just the America's killer yesterday on the Viper, now on the signature Cypher too. But really in this round, I think Team Liquid choosing to fight 5 players on site, looking so much towards C-Link there, did wonders to counter out what G2 were trying to accomplish on that multi-flank.
And we kind of talk about it as well in this. I do want to see Liquid keep this round clean. They're going to be up against what looks like classics, but
yeah.
Bigger picture, G2 have tape on Liquid, so if you're going to be like coping super hard about the EDG stuff, you could say maybe there wasn't enough tape on EDG to see what they were going to be like with that new meta. Nonsense, but sure, maybe that's the way you see it. You've got tape on Liquid here. This is something you can really lean into. This team has played a great deal, so there should be no excuses.
It's also not a revolutionary comp or anything like this from Team Liquid, as they make quick work again. G2, I'm a little surprised to see them showing so many of these flank looks already round 1, round 2, but that early conditioning, trying to keep that in the back of Team Liquid's minds that, hey, G2 are going to be testing those extremities.
Again, when you've got someone like Nats, I feel like we're saying his name a lot in this, you're going to be thinking about flanks a lot of the time, considering it's one of your biggest kind of, I don't even say win cons, but it certainly looks good with him at a 5-0 start. And someone else who's not necessarily fall below the conversation line, but Kiko coming out of that regular season was probably one of the front runners in my mind, certainly putting up numbers here. Outside of that as well, Patatech didn't have the best performance either, even in their victory, I would say. Considering we know his heights, I'll be very interested to see how he does here coming into this game up against G2, who are now at least on that bye.
Yeah, the fun there of Patatech back against G2 he played with back in the dawn of Valorant. But look at this, Jogamo stepping down into mid here.
Trying to be aggressive, assertive, and it might be rewarded. It is! Back-to-back damage, looking for a third, and he actually might get out with his life. No trade, no punish. It's Nats to try and claim at least something back with a pick towards Leaf.
Now look at this, once again, G2, 1 player on the flank, now looking for the retake. Coming into the site, Jogamo's already found 3.
Yeah, this time he's not letting this one slip. It's all down to Nats in a 1v4. Made to a 3, but it doesn't matter. G2 calm and composed, and I love them stamping authority of confidence with Jorg on that mid-walk.
Yeah, they just find that moment to slip over into Bunny, and you could see Jaw as well sort of eyeing, do I go for the flash and peeking for that 3rd kill? He chooses not to, and I think that decision sort of saved the round. It was very near to falling apart here after he gets that 2nd, right? Because he hadn't quite converted. But G2 keep things composed, and Jaw already looking good here to start.
And I think that's something that's essential to this team, is getting Jaw having that big performance as well. Seeing him light things up, do well, get that confidence building early. As I said, we do talk about that disparity in those previous results, how much that can affect a player's mental going in, but now we're going to have at least Liquid on the buy, so we see what they can do with theirs. No massive ults to bank on. Yeah, they've got Natses, but it's not exactly a headliner.
No, not at all. It's interesting to see Team Liquid moving into this mid space once again. G2 a little bit overcommitted towards A early on in the round. By throwing that early cage, Team Liquid thinking they could keep an extra player over there. A little blast from the breach is going to push them back, and Camo will do good to break the Vise wall on B. Early into the round as well, they only wasted 30 seconds to deal with that utility.
Yeah, and I'm looking to see them kind of go through the protocol list here. I want to see how well Liquid managed to navigate all of this.
Exactly. Now they pulled players to B. It's time to re-clear A. It's just Jaw over there. And what they can do is, actually, if they take out Jaw, they remove that ultimate from the retake.
Okay, spots 1. Stick around too long. And I like the reaction, though, from G2.
Yeah.
This pressure down middle.
They're walking down into mid, and Jaw is going to find 5 players. G2 can heat up on this flank and try to potentially pinch in, except that Team Liquid have already found the timing with Jaw falling down.
Okay, this is going from bad to worse here. Nats is holding the flank as well. He knows where everybody is. The original Icon is still doing this sort of work. Trent irrelevant to outcome, and Liquid made G2 look foolish.
That is crazy. I'm not joking, like, G2 were in a perfect position there.
Stunning, right?
Jaw's ultimate sees everyone. They've got a flank coming in, but Team Liquid react to it perfectly. Okay, well, they turn around, they get this kill, and then Nats is just finding kill after kill, spamming through this off of his ultimate. It's just a bit silly. Even the choice to fight into spawn, realizing that G2 are a bit scattered. Team Liquid are locked in.
And again, I was really liking how G2 looked. I couldn't compliment it enough. The reaction to re-clear middle, very proactive, pressure that flank. I loved it. It all fell apart in what felt like a second. So Util being, I think, kind of tested towards Garage early, and a very attentive start down A long from G2.
I love the single from Kiko. He can see if you pop over into the corner. That is gorgeous. It's just a fantastic anti-eco as well, because what have G2 done on every low buy? It's these slow creeps. Usually it was out into mid, but here realizing that A lobby is going to be that space.
Big identifier of the follow-up player as well. They're not really falling for any of the tricks here. Drill trying to make something happen for himself, but there's no one really taking this, right? No one wants to walk into it. There'll be no reason to. And it looks like Liquid do have this preference to going towards this B site approach.
Yeah, I think they've realized a couple times now that G2 are grouping up very heavily, trying to fight around Jogamo. Spotting that out, dodging, getting free entrances into the site.
Yeah.
Has every round just been an open site?
So far, it kind of felt a little like it. There is a fight back in the form of Leaf, at least. The rest, again, clearing this deep flank, but I like this reposition from Liquid, pushing through the extremity, but Jaw is still around it, so he can backfill that a little bit.
Jaw's going to be pretty critical if G2 are going to have a chance here on the eco.
If you're Liquid, you've got to be wondering, where the hell are they? They've got to get moving, and Valorant's done really well. Patatek goes down, and suddenly you're starting to get a bit more nervous on the side. Jaw appears. We said he was critical, and he is, but the one man still standing, brought to his knees. G2 with a little switch up in pace there, patient on the play back in, and they keep the scoreline close.
Yeah, honestly, when you look at that round, it looked like Team Liquid had the right read, because they're getting flanked, so they fight forward, but then they backed off. They didn't want to overfight. They got stuck sort of on this B site, and as soon as they lost the one fight over towards garage window, then that pinch comes in, right? This gun goes down. They've got to look too many directions, and Jaw, off of info from his teammates on minimap, is finding spam kills with a stinger through smoke.
And I feel like G2 really needed that, right? That's a little bit of a weight off the shoulders. You're not getting so worried. The scoreline doesn't feel so massive anymore. You've got a nice little divide there from Valen as well. You're going to be one away from Trent. A couple big ults here, right? Giving you some of those keys for potentially retaking on some of these very tricky sites. But as it stands, operator out for Camo.
Yes.
New look here.
Sitting that op down underneath window in mid is really interesting. I think what Camo's sort of reading here is it's usually been an early A open, and then after Team Liquid have fought into mid, G2 have moved multiple players onto the B site and can maybe catch a player over peeking for that one. And it's not a bad read, especially with his teammates making presence into garage. A lot of times the response is to walk out of B.
But G2 are willing to retake this space. They'll put bodies behind it to clear those question marks. And Jaw is in the right place again. That's big info, though, for Kiko.
Team Liquid now, though, with a little bit of trouble because they haven't found anything with the op. The round is slowing down, but maybe Alert could open things up. If Kiko hears the footsteps coming across, Team Liquid can choose to speed up into the A side or reset back into that lurk.
I like this.
Beautiful.
I really like that. Camo, patience pays for Team Liquid here. Smoke going to go in, and it's going to force G2 to... But you kind of feel like you have to commit to this.
They're already flooding.
They have to go for it. He's seen him. He's absolutely seen him. Jonah B going to find Nats, but it's Kamek to instantly trade out. He was spotted early. But do they know about this man? Jogmo's still here. It's laid, but it's not pretty enough. Kamek controlling. How did Kamek get all of those?
Kamek just takes that distraction, I think, from Camo and just lines him up. Takes him down, no problem. Team Liquid, I really thought they were going to be in some kind of problem with that flood coming into the site. We'll check it out again in the replay. Of course, great work here on that first shot to knock Trent out of it. And even once Nats is lost, Team Liquid, okay, Camo hunts down the one player into short. And yeah, resets to cover his teammate. Beautiful work.
That's going to be a bit of a stressor for G2. Gonna feel nice here because it is going to put the money in a pretty uncomfortable predicament. You're going to be down on a hero Vandal for Valorant, Guardian for Jonah P. And that round, I quite liked what they were doing. Again, quite proactive. They seem to be in the right places here, but they were behind the curve on towards A. Trent going down leads the gates open. I'm a bit worried. And we're seeing Liquid looking composed. It's this patience. I hope that's composure.
It's almost
not a
too
tech
much
pause.
patience out of Camo with a knife in his hand.
Don't start.
Curious. Well, he's doing a lot of very good tricks right now.
It'll be fine. I'm getting flashbacks, man. Like, don't do this.
The thing is, I've only
This feels
seen
really weird.
I've only seen Nats and Patatek move, and it's about 2 steps each.
I feel like this is a tech pause.
I think so too.
I don't want to say it yet, because then I'm really cursed. And I know I'm cursed at this point.
How iced are G2 off of this though? Like, where are Team Liquid? We haven't seen any utility.
Don't. Okay, well, hopefully we find out what's going on. I mean, clearly G2 haven't got the memo, but they'll be going, guys, there's nothing happening. That's weird.
Well, do you think this could just be a Team Liquid save?
Yeah. The old French save, just no one even saying
you know, look, we're 30 seconds left in the round. They haven't really gotten any information of where G2 are on the map. So it's hard to exec now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do I need to go up there and call? There was no damage done, right? Yeah, we'll see. We'll get an update for you guys,
Yeah.
so do, you know.
Don't panic. Don't panic.
Panic.
No panicking.
Panic.
It's gonna be fine.
I don't know if it is. I really don't know if it's gonna be okay.
How do we feel about Trent hunting down the players?
It's a little naughty, isn't it? A little naughty. A little naughty, Trent. Relax. Round's gonna be rolled back, though, isn't it?
I believe that's the call.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to see who it was. I swear one was like looking at their mouse a bit. Have we got a mouse issue? We go. Oh,
See, I've
they
heard
chose
a
red.
lot about the famous Pansy Tech pause. I never thought I would have the pleasure of experiencing it here today.
I'm sorry to do this to you. I genuinely wait. I want to see what's he messing with. What is it, keyboard, mouse?
Turning the volume down.
It looked like a mouse problem. I don't know, man. It is wild that this happens to me. I don't think we've had that many tech pauses, have we?
No, I don't really think so. And I do believe I just heard that we got a confirmation the round is 100% being rolled back here, so.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Everything's fine.
If anything, the teams had a little bit more time to think about what their approach was going to be coming into the round.
And do you think G2 enjoyed that?
No.
No.
The worst part is, too, like, if you think about the sequence of rounds we just saw, G2 win that eco round, right? And then they've got the bye, it's going great, the clock's getting a little bit low, and then that one slips away and they're forced back onto yet another eco.
It's rough.
So we genuinely haven't seen G2 win a actual bye versus bye round, because all they've got was the anti-bonus and that eco so far.
Good. Oh, it's a gear pause. Wait, he's up and about. Go on, cameraman. I dare you to be brave and show him up and about. Yeah, that's what I like to see. He's behind the desk. Someone get tech support up there. Help the poor man.
Has he tried unplugging it and plugging back in?
No, that is the classic fix, isn't it? Just just put a different USB
Yeah.
slot. It'll be fine. I swear to you. Poor old Camo man. He's having a day, isn't he? He's trying to stay locked in. It wasn't mouse. It was keyboard.
No, it was keyboard. That'll happen.
And it's going to take about 10 minutes as well for the in-ears coming back in.
Yeah.
And the headphones. Get cozy. You know.
I'm surprised we haven't seen anyone kick the chair all the way back yet. That's my favorite.
Oh, you mean like the full
Oh,
lead back?
the full OS as we call it.
Do you think G2 would after this start?
No. Honestly, I feel like G2 have to be locked in.
It'd only be. I feel like who could do it?
Because also
10-3, by the way.
think about G2's situation, right? Because they played 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Have that insane overtime match versus EDG.
Yep.
Play another. The third map, they get sort of blasted out of the water.
Sure.
So then they are chilling at the hotel.
Yeah.
They're watching Team Liquid
Oh,
series
yeah,
yesterday. It's like, oh, Sentinels, it's not looking too bad for them.
Yeah.
And then they see what Nats did to them on map 3. Then you come into today, and Nats has 9 kills in the first 4 rounds.
And it does feel like I didn't want to kind of curse it, right, when you're talking about Nats, because it was like a one-off level performance to see him peak that high.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, Nats is very good, everyone knows that, but to that extent, he exploited a lot of the issues that Sen had. I'd be incredibly impressed if he finds consistency at that level of excellence, but so far so good at 10-3. We are back into this, so thank you for your patience. 4 rounds to Team Liquid and 2 to G2. And now we get back to business.
Love the change of pace from Team Liquid this round. Getting it quickened, it's Nats with the operator. Okay.
It's not the first time you're going to see it, and it probably won't be the last. And you probably wouldn't expect him to outdo Jaw, but this time he does, and Kamek very aware of the angle.
Hold on now.
But Jonah P, cleaner with it, controlling towards middle.
Trent the only A player right now, and it's just a Sheriff in hand, but Valen's got a hero rifle, Jonah's already gotten one with the Guardian, and there's some pretty hefty ultimates for G2 to try and convert this numbers advantage.
Okay, they're building. Nats here, gonna get the ult. He can go back down towards Sewer.
Oh, that ultimate is gonna try and push players into Leaf, who sprinted up into window.
It makes no difference. Like, they can pause on this one. They're gonna get the info on the ult here unless Leaf moves now, and he... Oh! How the heck did they get away with that? Nats was almost dead. It looked almost so likely, but Patatek finds some space on the side. Valen on the side swing takes him down, and suddenly Liquid are being held at the door. They're not getting the access they want, but Nats still alive, an operator in hand. Let's see. Nats, is this like the game against Sent? You've been spotted. Uh-oh, Kiko's unraveling the crossfire. Jonah P and Trent will not let that slide. A Maskart Thrifty coming in, and G2, just stay off the guns.
It's just another eco that they're winning. Yeah. It's just a little bit silly. Quite frankly, like Jonah P finds that opening kill into mid, right? That's a big one. They toss 2 ultimates in to make sure they're securing it. It's a little bit shocking, especially considering that, okay, yeah. We took him down. Jaw had a Marshall. It's not a true 1v1 just yet.
Again, and I do think there'll be question marks if it continues this way, right? Because we're back on a bye now. We do have the shorty coming, excuse me, Bucky coming out for camo. Does have the knives to lean on, but they do like to go for these explosive B approaches with this sort of thing, and it looks like, once again, they're at least implying this early.
Yeah, that smoke to teleport into, Jet can dash into the site. We'll see how aggro we're getting. Look at that with the Bucky! Already trading 1 for 1, and Team Liquid are still on a warpath. Kiko diving in towards C, Link, but Trent has done well to slow this hit down.
Trent's done exceptionally well. He's kept them this B site, he's kept them in the numbers game, he's kept them in a man advantage. He is the hero that they needed right now, and he might have to still keep going. Kamek and Patatek alive here. They can hit the pause button for a second.
Big drone.
Yeah, but they don't get much off it, sadly. They're looking for almost a slam dunk. They're going to force the swing. Uh-oh,
beautiful.
What the hell? They're making it work. Jorgamo going to strike back. It's all on Kamek in a 1v1. Operator for Jaw. He's got his ult as well, as does Kamek. But again, in these situations, how does this unfurl? Kamek going walkabout's completely unknown. Jorgamo took the TP out. And back to back. Jorgamo now finding that impact on the side, but I've got to say, again, in my mind, Trent doing well in this round. So much impact coming out from G2's individuals.
Absolutely, right? G2 go for that fast flood into the site. And they had the early stall, too, which allowed them to actually get in position for that one. The fact that Jogmo finds the pick onto Nats, who's going for the flank into window. It's a really chaotic round, you know? Team Liquid really tried to blow things open, fighting in towards A-Link, then they switch over into C-Link, too. I really think Team Liquid are trying to make these rounds almost as chaotic as possible to catch G2 before they're sort of in motion for their own retakes.
Yeah, and it looks like attack timeout coming in for Liquid, but I feel like if Trent didn't have that level of impact on the site, though, that could have gone completely different. What an incredible round from him.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I feel like G2's supporting staff are so effective at holding down sites. We saw it from Jonah P with the Guardian in hand the previous round. He's sort of known for his play with the Guardian and the Sheriff in Americas. Trent too. Fantastic work in that last one. Even when, you know, Jogamo is falling or when he's stuck on the operator on the opposite side of the map, those guys can step up.
Yeah, and this becomes the kind of puzzle solving for Team Liquid. Already claiming 4 rounds, but now normally if that timeline kind of felt more honest, you'd kind of think that G2 side would win more and more gun rounds, but that felt like the most stable gun round they've actually been able to convert in a minute. So it hasn't fully stabilized yet. This is still very much up in the air, but it is going to break Liquid's buy, right? So they are going to be down to the Stingers, maybe odds and ends to even out the money a touch, but I don't think that Liquid have found a huge flaw in G2's approach yet. I don't love these kind of straight into Bs. They haven't been working out. I want to see them explore the rest of the map here. I think that pace change could come in incredibly well for them.
It's going to be important too, because G2 are switching up their side holds, right? Jagomo's moving that operator over towards C, Leaf on the Vi's, going to be playing A and looking to place, I think, a forward Vi as well, over towards Stack. That'll end up leaving this B site a bit weaker, but see where Jonah P is. He's just got stun in hand, ready to stun into Garage or B off of either of his two teammates' contacts on the areas.
And I can't compliment Trent enough. I want to see if he's again going to be the one to be doing damage off this. Jonah P is layering on that utility, keeping it very controlled, at least for now. And they're aware that generally Liquid have been going for those extremity pushes, which once again they are doing. Jonah P does outgun them though, as does Jaw. And now you're going to see that crunch come in. Late presence through Garage, don't forget. Oh, a little sloppy, but it gets the job done. Leaf finally getting on the board with two of his own. Going to keep this well in hand. A 2v4 is not easy,
Hello?
Nats. You're a nasty boy, Nats, but they got to get moving. Uh-oh, how is this happening? Leaf is still doing work here, but it's a 1v2, and Nats knows where Leaf is, but there's a time incentive, and Leaf standing tall. 4 huge kills, and G2 manage in the mayhem.
Yeah, they lock down the fort. Yeah, there's Nat shooting him in the side of the head, but it's all good. I think G2 now have realized that Team Liquid's heavy anti-prep in this game has been to fight into spawns. Every round, they're playing super aggressive host plans, and now G2 are doing a much better job of identifying that and holding it down.
So we look at depth, we look at capability. G2, that stability is everything to them right now. 3 consecutive rounds. Money getting a little bit better for themselves. Ult starting to hit through as well. Pressure back towards A, at least on the early implication. No full follow-up to it yet, though.
Yeah, I think the annoying thing for Team Liquid is because they went for the B rush on the eco round. They haven't actually seen what the differences G2 have in their setup coming out of the timeout. They don't know about the Vi setup on A. They don't know exactly what Jog is going to be doing with that operator. So they've got to be very cautious working forward here and don't have a lot of cues to play off of.
Who's the one exploring first? Going to be stun. Force him off for now. Playing out of connector. Shot missed.
Wow.
Jonah P gonna just put that to the chest of Camo, and that's a man up to the good around the minute mark. And look at Jaw going walking.
Exactly, creeping down into C. Team Liquid have no space on the map. Apart from, I guess, Kiko, who's held down A long, but he's not in a forward position just yet.
Still with that Vice wall there, right? You still got security in that. They're happy enough leaving one on it.
I think this round is going to hinge on what Nats can accomplish on B. Team Liquid have very little time to make presence known over into A, so Nats is going to have to snap onto something. Because if he takes too long, I think that Stack is just going to run out of time to work with. They don't know about this Vise yet. Only now do they realize there's a wall and this stall is going to hurt.
Yeah, this is rough now. Paranoia's gone in. They're going to have to make something of it, but look at the time being bought here. It's perfect. And this is just outdone G2 with a magnificent approach. You got 10 seconds. There's nothing you could do. Wrap it up. Spike's still down there. Yeah, Leaf, go deal with them. Ooh. Okay, not like that, but the time. Time is the biggest thing, and he bought time for it. Catman can go farming. I don't care. The round is gone. And it's a misstep from Liquid here, and a perfect example of G2's adaptation being rewarded.
Exactly, and I really do believe this all goes back to what Team Liquid chose to do on the eco. It's a really hard decision to have coming out of a timeout on an eco round where it's, okay, do we go for the rush play that might give us a higher chance of winning this round? Yeah. Or do we play slow and figure out what the changes our opponents have made? And because they went for the former, they just ran into time issues without any type of scouting. As soon as they lost their duelist, it was just, what do? We have no plans.
It's not good enough to be walking in blind like that, just hoping, praying that it'd go in your favor. And now we look at the pace again. Ouch. Heavy a look towards A.
I got the spike.
Still got a buy. Yes, could be lacking in some areas. Obviously, Patatek, they're just down on the Sheriff. This looks simplistic in approach, at least for now.
G2 have a double setup in mid. Nats could be running into some serious trouble if he tries to play into that B space.
It feels like they're pulling the players over. Yeah, G2, that's 3 players now towards A. Smoke close and away we go. Nat's trying to navigate through middle, but still, it's all going to be held down by G2. They got bodies here. This feels like it's falling flat, and it is. G2 making light work of Liquid. This doesn't look threatening at all.
Oh,
you didn't see
Kiko.
Nats. Guess where he is? Right behind you. Good luck, Kiko. Have fun, Kamek. you're not going to do a thing here. G2 have elevated in the last couple of rounds. And Kamek can try and make it look good for the scoreboard, but that'll be about it in a 1v4. G2 back in control.
Yeah, Trent and Jonah P keeping it locked down over on the A site. Finding the 2 kills through the spam, then their util is coming back off the cycle because the hit's coming in right on that 1 minute mark. Just stopping Team Liquid in their tracks completely. Those are the guys that, again, Jogmo's off in Narnia over on the B side. He's not helpful. So to be able to lock it down like this is just fantastic.
Feels very readable right now. I feel like G2 have been doing their homework and Liquid just, I don't want to say falling short. 4 rounds is doable. 5 would be much better for them, but still, this doesn't feel inventive. It doesn't feel unknown.
This mid space is really strange right now. Team Liquid going for an ult play back in link.
This is wild. Camo straight away takes away Leaf. It's pacey, but G2 have been good in this sort of chaos. They've kept up with this, but it's a lot of players in a very awkward situation. Jaw is surrounded. He wants to fight out. Jaw will not back away, and maybe he should have, but he couldn't. G2 still staying in this with 3 standing, but the C site is lost.
It's a 3v3 right now. Alan has an ultimate, there's fighting garage, this determines everything. Jonah P opening it up now can call in his teammates to ult back into the site.
And there it is, ult comes in. Kamek was ready, this was nice, 25 HP, we've got to know that space could have been occupied. Jonah P is on the money now! G2 looking so much better!
That was wild. Team Liquid just blow open the round, but again, it's Jonah P finding those kills. It's Jogamo turning around to deal with Camo's jet when he's surrounded on every single front.
Oh, it feels like Liquid ran out of steam there, and G2 showing their depth at 8-4.
Locating targets. One enemy. One suppressed. All missiles away.
Wait.
Nice boys! As we take.
Had it with your old phone? We've got you. At Verizon, trade in any old phone for iPhone 16 Pro on us, on any plan. And get iPad and Apple Watch Series 10, all 3 on us. That's up to $2,000 in value, only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Was a volatile start. You know, Liquid came out swinging. It looked like we had a bit of a game on our hands. Nats looking like maybe it was another sort of, you know, one of those.
Owning.
But G2 made it. Suddenly, what, 7th round? Looked like they had no problems at all.
Yeah, 6 in a row.
Easy.
Yeah, 6 in a row to close it out. Very impressive stuff. Honestly, if you want to just talk game plans for these two teams, it felt like G2, after that timeout was called, lights out. Could not be touched. But Team Liquid came in with a really interesting read. It was all about fighting forward in those post plans, stopping G2 before they could really get into their retake. So I sort of feel like Team Liquid will have a lot of these hard reads on G2 coming into this series. Do or die series for them. And on their defense, I wonder what that's going to be. It's going to start on Pistol with a heavy fight over C-Long.
Oh, this could be a straight-up biff, isn't it? Just 3 on one side, 5 on the other. Numbers looking a little bit better for G2, but let's see. Already very well. Oh, this is going to be so sick. This is so sick. Look at the pour on of Util. They put it right through the blender. Kamek the on to really draw blood, though. And G2 fighting it out. It felt like Liquid had the read, and it didn't matter for a moment.
How on earth did TL only get the 1? Their utility was genuinely perfect. We're going to have to wait to the replay because I thought they had absolutely everything they needed.
Oh, that's gutting as well. That's a wind out of your sails, right? For G2, you're grinning, right? You've just got...
Hold on.
Yeah. Kiko? No way were you going to make that anymore. He's made it doable, though. He's brought it down to a 1v2. Trent and Valen suddenly having to really focus up.
Valen's on 10 HP.
Oh my god, the timing.
We're still
on
gonna
this.
jab.
The timing. Trent, you absolute superstar. He was phenomenal during the regulation rounds on that B site. He was impactful there, and he might have just saved that one from becoming a tragedy. But the start of that, Liquid knew it all.
Yeah, please, let's see that again. Oh, there's a counter stun, so at least Patatek is stunned. I'm not sure what happened to Kamek and Nats on the other side.
One down.
I thought it was all good.
Yeah. I mean, benefit of the doubt is there could have been, you know, some like Yoru Flash something that forced them off the line. I'm going to assume, but that was hard to see through all the mess of utility being tossed out there.
That has got to be an absolute gut punch for Liquid in their mind, because they had the right read. But doesn't matter, still got to click the heads, and it was G2 out on top, dealing with whatever cards thrown at them. Leave. Quickly going to get out of there. Ooh.
Wow, just barely misses it.
Yeah, it's the finest of margins. But in the meantime, G2 have staked their claim on this C site. And yeah, there's Sheriffs on the other side, but they should be 10, right?
Yeah, I mean, G2 went for the full buy here. They don't care about the bonus. It's just about winning that round. The call with the heavy round advantage coming on through here. Double stars to stop the flood out from C-Link too. All to cover the flank. This is a solid anti-eco setup.
This is really uphill. Liquid looking for options and finding very little, and that's the only one to do it as G2 stalwart on this site. Oh, G2 again. They invested heavy into this round. They were not going to take any chances here. Geeko, if you get one more, he's keeping him close to sight. There we go. G2 going to recover the more prized possessions of the Guardians and bits and bobs. Yeah, and the Bulldog there too. All good.
Now the thing is, Team Liquid bought a lot of Sheriffs that round.
Yep.
They've got 4 light armors. If G2 identify that, which getting all those kills, they see the Sheriffs on the ground. This could be a time to force up into an Outlaw, genuinely, for them.
I'd love to see it. Why not?
It's a weird call to make, because on the one side, when you have such a buffer, 10-4, it's like, just take the bonus here, build up your economy, that's totally fine, but this could have just been the nail in the coffin had they gone for it.
Here.
What a course correction for G2 this would be. After what was probably a real sour game for them. Coming back into this and looking like they are really on the money. This is dreamy. But can they even make it hurt now for Liquid? They have the better guns on the Liquid side. They should have everything they need, but once again, into this retake scenario.
A lot of good utility for G2 to play with multiple flashes for this fight into Garage and the teleport out with an early kill. G2 can now fall back into long because there's no smokes.
Yeah, that was just profound aggression, and it works wonders, leaving just Liquid, as I said, down to 4, struggling uphill. G2 making it hurt, turning the screws. As Patatek gonna face the music on 23 HP, and Kamek by his side, but how are you meant to deal with this? You can't. You know you can't. Time is going to be going, and leave. A little unlucky on the time, but it doesn't matter. They're going to make it to 11 on this round. This is more than the first nail in the coffin. This is the gateway to the map, pretty much.
That is just brutal. I mean, how many flashes do G2 have just continually fighting into Garage? Kamek needs to keep this rifle online just to be a potential hero, and he does.
Lucky boy.
The faintest size of relief for Team Liquid.
Look at the money now for G2, 3 back-to-back rounds. You don't often see that. Liquid are on the ropes here in map 1.
And this is the absolute worst feeling as a coach, too. You've played 3 rounds, and you have to call a timeout. You have nothing to go on. Nope. You've seen a pistol and anti-eco, just these, like, random C hits. You don't have anything other than looking at the forecast your next few rounds. How do we get ultimates to play with? How do we win this big swing round for us?
But hey, this is the G2 we wanted, right? I think you said it well at the start, that if anyone asked you head-to-head between these two teams at the start of this tournament, everyone would have gone for G2, right? It was the logical option in most people's minds. And it was that one upset, that one strange game it felt where the stars aligned, that Liquid looked beyond their means by a long shot, right? We saw the best of some of these players. Now, there's nothing saying they can't do it again. but they're on 4 rounds, and G2 have come out looking like they should. They are one of the most favored teams here. They are arguably the favored team. You could throw EDG in there, you could throw Vitality in there, sure, but pound for pound, they should be putting up 11 rounds to the likes of Liquid. This is much, much better from G2.
In fact, they turned it around after losing the pistol, those few scrappy rounds early on in the half. They've just been completely lights out. And genuinely, I'm really happy with how Jonah P has stepped up in a lot of these eco rounds, and Jogamo as well, because I think Jogamo got completely shut out in that series back versus EDG. But now Team Liquid, with everything riding on them to keep competitive in this opener.
Now we kind of get into the rougher end of this for Liquid too. Their buy now going to be shattered, right? They can get some bits and pieces, but it's Kamek's Vandal that is their prized possession.
Right walk.
Well, that's bold from Padatek, and it's labored, but it's got the job done. Leaf is removed. Now
You've just got,
towards A.
yeah, you've got Nats playing up towards Heaven, trying to get a kill off the trip, but there's too much utility to break the trips. Yoru is just unfair, easily dealt with the Flood coming in quick.
Yeah, they've got to make this one work, though. Padatek going to put his life on the line for it. Pressure starting to mount now. Nats dives in, head first. He takes the fight, but Trent again in these critical rounds. Trent comes alive. I can't stress it enough. But an ace? No way.
Full minute to play with, but that spike is in a bad way.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, when he goes for the exec, he has the missiles, he's got a stun to play with. Camo and Kiko are stacked. There's a world.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the story of the Trent 1v5? Started off with 2
Surely
incredible
not.
kills. He was down to 79 HP. Almost full util left here. And then he goes for that play out of from Sewer, the spike. Awful position. Swing comes in. It wasn't this round, actually.
Right,
it was
yeah.
a different one. But
it was that other one.
It was the other one.
Yeah.
Hey, lifeline for Liquid,
Yeah,
right? They needed that.
It was probably around he was playing Sova on Ascent.
Yeah. That's
usually the Trent
the one.
1v5. But genuinely, okay, so Team Liquid, what have we seen from them in that round that gives us a little more faith? It's that mid-walk, right? I think one of the things playing the Spies is you have a little bit less like scouting control over mid-space than you do with a Killjoy turret or a Cypher camera, those types of things. So maybe a small thing Team Liquid have identified, trying to flush out that space. Looking at this next round too, they've got 3 players ready to fight there as well.
Might be the right shout though, but Jaw without ult is going to be an issue, right? He's got that Stinger nice and close as well. Any America's hands looks good. Kiko doesn't want to leave this, but he's going to have... Oh, his team's... That saved him! I thought he was dead for sure. Surely Kiko was going to die there, but no. But now pallet stations, utilities coming in, a dash to the side, counter ult. It's an absolute mess. Kamek even taking down Camo, and Jonah P putting them in their graves. What the hell has just happened? I couldn't tell you. But Padatek and Kamek, the only 2 alive, split on the map, but an opportunity beckons, takes away Trent. Now we've got to see a response from Paddy too. He's got to take some space here, but look at Jonah P's position.
Oh, yeah.
It is stunning. Offsets the time, wins the fight. He's basically won him the round. Kamek's going to have to go nuclear in this. Util Porons there, and they're not going to engage
There's a stun
with
back
him.
up.
Look at this.
It's not going to happen. G2 somehow see through the pandemonium on that. I mean, double Tejo ults. Valen's trying to just dance around both things. Jonah P spamming people through smokes. It's just a little bit wild.
Just a touch. That's what. Good luck understanding this.
And look, like, okay, John gets team stunned there, coming out of the ult a little bit early.
Oh.
And they still win the round, even through all of that. Next one, yeah, okay, he's just shooting.
Must be nice. This is not a good look for Valorant in general. I think there was, again, there's going to be that League of Legends co-streamer having a watch, having a giggle. That's not going to go well, and I don't think I saw a single one of those kills, all through smokes. Right, redemption in this one. Liquid need to do it now, or it might be never. Already a 2-for-1 trade out, and G2 straight up with the upper hand.
I mean, Team Liquid just effectively ran the same play 3 rounds in a row out of the timeout. G2 aren't going to be fooled again.
what are you meant to do, right? What are you meant to do?
Well, now that you're down in numbers, you almost have to sort of act out a little bit.
Sure, rat around somewhere, try and find something, I guess, lower percentile. That's not going to do it. G2 looks so in the driving seat here. Nats and Kiko, yeah, probably some of the two heavy hitters from this team. People have looked at these two as the ones to be able to bring them back to the forefront. Jog did not care. 13-5. It's a dominant display from G2, and that is message sent.
Just beautiful Valorant from John Jonah. Fantastic work between the two. On the defensive side, locking it down, jaws off was excellent. And once G2 realized that Team Liquid would just go, 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 they slowed down the rounds, they knew exactly what was going on. They had Team Liquid's number.
Oh, Jonah P, my God.
Jonah, Professor.
Nice, strength. Nice two-touch. See, the classic. You hit with the classic.
Give me the classic. I shit on 3 of them with no armor, not even touching me.
Red Bull gives you wings.
To face your death, cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops there. I'm taking off like a rocket here, ain't stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again.